welcome back to the show. And apologies for the break in transmission. We had a little technical hitch, but good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And of course, our gratitude will go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. And I'll let you into a panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic, $300 million, Cassius mining disputes, laws of Ghana must apply, International Arbitration Tribunal rules, new train crashes, pineapple as potential, pay attention to crop, legal practitioner entreats government. The Constituency Watch is today on Asukwa. It says it's the industrial hub of Kumasi. The Ghanaian Times, election alert, Cybersecurity Authority engages tech providers to counter misinformation powered by AI. 30% media outlets collapse due to financial constraints, Minister. The 70% that have not collapsed have actually collapsed. 609 die in road crashes, first quarter 2024. Ghana wins preliminary ruling in Cassius mining $300 million international arbitration. Daily Guide. Ghana's debt surged under NDC, Dr. Bano. And yesterday I passed this comment when he was on the front page of the Statesman. And I'll plead with anybody. I'm sure that even people with secondary school certificates to go read his analysis and ask themselves whether it makes sense. And I even wonder why anybody would want to engage in this debt discussion at this time. We have gone to the IMF, we have a DDEP program. We have given people crude haircuts. We are in a mess. And somebody thinks that this convoluted analysis, very dishonest intellectual appreciation of these issues is what must be put on the front burner. Let those degrees that people hold exude some respect, at least. Try Cassius mining case in Ghana, International Tribunal. OSP files new charges against ex-PPA boss. Otunfo fights for private sector. Adwajiri Zongo chiefs pledge allegiance to Ochihini. Now Kromo reunites with family. New weekend crusading guide. Ghana Cassius mining's $300 million international duel. Arbitration to be heard here, not London. Tribunal preliminary rules. More hope for Ghanaians with leaders like Dr. Stephen Amwa and Shiasu constituents all stricken. Gensa Energy commends major stakeholders for gas pipeline construction. Private varsities risk collapse by August 2024. GTech threatens. Accident rocks newly imported train during test run. Isaka Conference, nurturing innovative minds and entrepreneurship. The Insight, Ghana's economic crisis to get worse. Professor Stephen Adair warns Ghanaians. Why Iran attacked Israel and what could happen next. Ghanaians react to viral social media video on Chief Imam. Accuse aides of exploitation. Ameri plant why outdoor 9-year-old baby again. PV to President Akufo-Addo. Save the Nation salutes despite media of a reportage on environmental and developmental issues. The Herald. Sabotage claims engulf Ghana's newly imported train accident. Transport Minister pays his favorite company $33.3 million against procurement laws in Buankra project mess. Parliament rubbishes charges against Bagbin by Jubilee House boys. Says delayed recall of MPs report frivolous. Please release details on luxury robber. Months after Herald story on Mrs. and Miss Arthur's robbery. Nungwa gets back young priestess after underage marriage drama. The Daily Searchlight. More independent candidates should contest MPP NDC. They are our worst problem. Kofi Apieni Enin. I'll fight corruption ruthlessly. Alan. Your silence over Galamsey is a shame, says Sam Jonah tells journalists. 3 teenagers arrested for allegedly gang defiling fellow students. Stop hate speeches and insults in the media. National Peace Council. Asembe Nkrani. Ghana's new train crashes on first run. The New Finder. Motorcycles killed 931 out of 2,276 road crash fatalities in 2023. Ghana Cote d'Ivoire Cocoa Initiative Headquarters commissioned. Newly imported train collides with packed truck during test drive. Accra climax exceptional 2023 UNESCO World Book Capital events. Daily Post, full gospel businessmen to honor Speaker Bagbin with Distinguished Footprints Award for political leadership. NPP is now made up of kids who talk recklessly. Alan explodes. Recommissioning of ABBEY. Very soon they will relocate Mohammed's Ridge Hospital to Kumasi for recommissioning. Sami Jemfi Mox, Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. The good old Catholic standard. Nuncio to Ghana, reassigned to South Africa. Pope Francis reinstates papal title, Patriarch of the West. Laity have true equality of dignity with clergy. Bishop Agenta expresses concern over declining Catholic population in Ghana. And that's about it for the front pages. I'll be let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but I'll do this. If you're looking for a toothpaste for the entire family, and also looking at saving some money, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste. This is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint, gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KEL 360 toothpaste, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs while not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lift and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It is a simple, self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumono, or just call them on 0200-535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. All right, so with me on the show this morning, I have Nana Akomia, who's the managing director of STC, and he's also the vice chair of the Bawumia 2024 campaign. Nana, good morning.
Morning, Randy.
We're also expecting the Member of Parliament for the Northern constituency. I don't know if he made a detour to the Buankra inland port, but we're expecting him to join us here on the show. Nana?
Yeah.
Whilst we wait for Sami, there's something that we've discussed severally. You have made many proposals, but it keeps coming up, and it has to do with this issue of transport fares and agitations and confusion surrounding it. Now, the latest one is that Minister of Transport said police should go and arrest drivers who charge unauthorized fees. And if you sit back and you watch it, you ask yourself why we make either to simple things complex. I mean, why must we get into this state of confusion?
Yeah. Well, let me wish our audience a good Friday morning. Fridays are always good. I'm looking forward to the day when we can pay salaries every Friday.
Oh, okay.
Because that really is the origin of the phrase "Thank God it's Friday," because everybody
gets something.
Everybody gets something on Friday, and I remember those days when we were young men in Europe and we were doing some factory work. Every Friday they give us our envelopes, £100 or something, with overtime, and then we'll go and walk through the shopping centers. We won't buy anything, but just to see what we can buy with our £100.
What the money can do, although it won't do it.
And then you see, and we're schoolboy, we're university people.
Yeah.
and you see some nice shoe, 13 pounds. I can buy this. So I'm looking for it. I think we can do it in this country. Maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks, If only, I suspect they
we've always heard this thing, but unfortunately, I've not even checked from any of my friends who went through the military or in the military that they are paid every 2 weeks.
I don't know. But the problem would be the availability of the money.
For funds, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm sure the comptroller and accountant general would have the facilities in place to pay.
But are there any benefits? Any benefits?
Then you always have some liquidity.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You always have some liquidity. Charlie, 1 month is long.
That's why there's a lot of sundown. You do sundown, then when they think about the end of the month, you go and pay.
1 month is very long. 1 month is very long, So every 2 weeks you get something.
All the people who sell around the ministries, they all have notebooks.
But there you have straight away you have a credit system.
Yeah,
you have a credit system, an informal credit system. Yeah, I mean this business of the transport fares, it has been occurring time after time after time after time throughout the period that we've gone into constitutional rule. I mean, two things. The decision as to the transport fares is not tidy. So that's one. And then even when you cross that untidy process and you fix the transport fares, the process of implementing it for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, fights in trotros. I remember when I was a member of parliament at Okakwe South, one of the things, anytime you went to the trotro stations, after a fare increment or a fare change, trouble between passengers and trotro mates and so on, all the time, and we still have not solved it, I have proposed many times that we should have a simplified system. At the moment, it looks like too many individuals involved. The ministry or the minister, the GPRTU, other transport organizations. It's determined by a bureaucracy. That's the situation as we have on our hands. And it's been like that since 1992. The transport fares are determined by a bureaucracy. And if the bureaucracy doesn't react, and normally bureaucracies do not react on time, and then you have all this confusion. And that's how it's been since 1992 up to today. So the current confusion shows you that we haven't made much progress. We can move away from the bureaucratic way of fixing fares by having some automatic formula. So we can say the parties met and they could agree and say when the price of fuel goes up by, say, 10%, it should trigger, say, a 4% increment in transport fares. So that all the parties have to do is to track the price of fuel. Has it reached 10%? Let's say 10% is significant, or whatever percent. That can be agreed. And then let's decide on the percentage. And then let's decide on the corresponding percentage increment in fares. So that the bureaucracy is not there. I mean, you go, because of the bureaucracy because the bureaucracy doesn't respond, there's pressure to break away from the bureaucracy, and it's not tidy.
No.
So one pressure is coming from the transport unions themselves. People believe that the GPRTU, which is supposed to be the mother union, they are not responsive enough. The GPRTU may make an appointment with to see the ministry or the minister, and they go and the minister is not available. So they come back and people get frustrated. And so you now have a breakaway of transport unions, which is a direct reflection of the dissatisfaction with the system. So now you have concerned transport, you have all kinds of transport. The front is breaking because people feel that the major union is not pursuing their interests well. They're also facing frustrations. And then what is happening is that you have one breakaway, then announcing their own fares. I hear there's some letter from the ministry. I don't know if it is true.
Asking the police to arrest.
How is that going to be?
On the basis of which authority?
Yeah, and also the trotro, the taxi, is owned by the individual.
Yes.
Now, how are you going to arrest somebody reacting to an increase in cost? Why haven't you arrested the people who increased the petrol price? So, genuinely, if there's increase in petrol price, it will affect operating costs, and people would want some reaction. So, the suggestion that let the bureaucracy rather monitor a system that has been agreed. So, if we decide that a certain movement in transport fares up to a point should trigger a certain movement in petrol fares or diesel fares should trigger a certain movement in transport fares. All of us are agreed. So all we do is just monitor. And these tensions and so on. And so you know that it's 10%. So the rest is how to calculating that 5% or 4% increment and making sure it is available in the trotros and all over, so that you don't have, even after the fares have been agreed on, you don't have this trouble of fighting in the trotros for another 2-3 weeks.
So I've been analyzing this issue, and just before I get to how I have analyzed it, yesterday a cousin of mine who lives at Malam was telling me that the trotro drivers have devised a strategy. So from Malam to, let's say, Circle is maybe, let's say, 5 cities, 50 pesos. What they've decided to do now is that they would load from Malam to Odoko.
They call it short shots.
Then you alight at Odoko, then they load Odoko to Kaneshi. Then you light at Kaneshi, then they load Kaneshi to Circle. You end up paying 8 cedis and something. Yeah. Instead of, if they had loaded Malam straight to Circle, it would have been, say, 5 cedis, 50 pesos.
So that is part of the stress that is put on the system by the bureaucratic way of fixing fares. So when people are facing major operating costs, and there's a bureaucracy that is not allowing them to begin to recover some of those increments, these are some of the things they will do. You have a breakaway on the front of the transport unions. You have drivers putting passengers like through this trauma, and so nobody gets rewarded. Everybody suffers.
So back to my analysis.
And when passengers get stressed because the fares have been phased, and because of the way it's been phased, and the implementation, and there's confusion, government suffers. And when the trotro drivers decide to do this short, government suffers. So really, government doesn't gain. It's in the interest of government to have a transparent, predictable system.
Okay. So back to the analysis. Now, you have taken us through, you've given us a historical perspective. And of course, like I said, this is not the first time. You've been proffering all these suggestions all the time. Now, at the time this started, fuel prices, which appeared to be the major variable, was regulated. So, if you had prices also being regulated, there was a certain correlation.
What do you mean prices?
Transport fares.
Okay.
So when your transport fares being regulated, just as fuel prices, there was a certain correlation. Now, at a point in time, government realized that the regulation of the fuel prices was creating an unsustainable debt situation for government. So government decided that I will deregulate and let the forces of demand and supply, let the market forces, plus my taxes and levies, determine how you pay it. So whether your prices change from morning to afternoon to evening, or from today to tomorrow, as for government, me, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whether when you go today, a gallon is 40 cedis, and you go tomorrow it's 44 cedis, and you go the next day it's 58 cedis, or it comes to 12 cedis, I don't care. So far as that is not making me make losses, I'm fine. However, we still held the transport fare regime
To a
regulated.
Yeah.
So the driver goes to the pump today. He buys a gallon of petrol for 40 cedis. You have fixed the fare for him. Tomorrow he goes. You have deregulated. Then the petrol is now 45 cedis. But he's expected to charge the same fare that you approved, irrespective of the changes. And he must go on for a long time. So what you have run away from by deregulating petrol prices, you are subjecting the transport owner and the people in the transport business value chain to
Regulation.
yes.
Yeah. So it will not work. So, like I said, that's is determined by bureaucracy. Regulation of the fuel price means the fuel prices, the petrol prices were being determined by bureaucracy.
Yes.
It wasn't working. So you've moved the bureaucracy away and left it to market forces. But you haven't done the same for transport fares. So immediately there's going to be tension. But even then, even if the bureaucracy reacted, or you want to put the bureaucracy should react quickly so that people can still go along with it. When the bureaucracy doesn't react on time, then you have this stress where people are doing short shots. And then there's this threat of arrest. Now you're going to arrest somebody with their own trotro that they've charged them. So these stresses will continue if we don't correct the system. We would think that, governments all over the world, and government after government, they are sensitive. If transport fares go up in a way that is not regulated, it could, and if transport, really, the economy is transport. The economy.
Yeah, you always say that.
Yeah. No, because look at it this way. We are able to have this discussion because of transportation. Do you see it that way? You would not be able, well, let's say you have your car. I have my car. But 80% of your workforce here, they probably come by public transport. So if there's no public transportation, what will happen? You will not be able to have this discussion. And when the COVID problems, when COVID came, what was the issue? Because movement was curtailed.
Yes.
When you go to, look at the revamping of the Kumasi airport, so that now flights can operate from Kumasi in the night. Look at the volume of air transport between Accra and Kumasi. These are the two biggest cities.
Yeah.
It is important for the Ghanaian economy that the big cities are linked up, because the big cities are the centers of business and economic activity. And when they are linked up, economic activity grows. Can you imagine if there's a break in transport between Accra and Kumasi? The economy of Ghana will shut down immediately. So the economy really is transportation. And now people are able to, because of the night capacity in the Kumasi airport, people are able to go to funerals in the morning and come back at 9 p.m. and so on. And movement, and they can go there. Otherwise, they may not go. They go there, spend some money there, and come back, and all of that. So transport is crucial. So that you could say that we don't want to leave transport fares because of the impact on the general economy. We don't want to leave it completely to market forces. I think that's the fear of government. But if you have a system which is saying a 10% rise in fuel, you are not saying that should trigger a 10% rise in transport fares, but maybe a 5 or 6%, so that it is not rising to the same level, but is graduated. It's a far smoother system. It would also not cause too much worry for government because it's not a one-on-one increase. And it will be predictable. And when there's a 10% increment, everybody knows that there has to be a corresponding 4 or 5%. The necessary preparations will be done. The determination of the fares from Odoko to Circle or from Bantama to Ahunjo will be done if it's 4 pesos, and everybody would know it will be smooth. Now, it is not smooth. And so government really is not even gaining, because when there's misunderstanding and there's fight in the trotros, it's government that people blame. And when the trotros are doing short shots, it's government that people blame. So it's in the interest of government itself that the process is smooth and there's not this wahala that is going on.
Sorry? So the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Northern constituency has joined
It took a
us.
bit of time because they were transporting his...
The documents.
yeah. You can see them?
I'm sure the transporter is trying to increase the fares.
No, they were looking for more hands. They were looking for more hands in his case.
I'm told that
But you think one person can carry this?
I'm told that the train accident happened in this constituency.
It says on your chairman
Is that
was
true?
involved. Your chairman was not involved.
You read that rumor.
It's totally unfounded.
But you know, when I heard that is it unfounded? The truck owner is not your branch chairman. It's not. Okay. But when I heard it, that the owner of the truck is a branch chairman of the NDC, you know what came to my mind? And I was laughing. I said, but in North Tone, in his constituency, 9 out of 10 people are NDC.
So really, it's a no-brainer. if the owner is in the constituency, chances are that
Chief.
we'll come to that. There are some very, very serious issues with respect to that particular clash. And I'm beginning to listen to the experts after being bombarded with the
conspiracy theorists.
yes, now the experts are speaking, and we need to be asking the hard and relevant questions of whoever were involved as far as this test run was concerned. Yes, Sammy, let me bring you on this transport thing, and then we'll move on. There's confusion everywhere.
Everywhere.
When I saw the ministry's thing to the police to go and arrest people, I was like, look.
But are you sure that thing is true?
The directive.
Yeah, from the ministry.
Well, I have not cross-checked with the ministry, to be honest.
Have you seen the letter?
I think I saw something on social media, but I've not.
As for social media, they have to be extremely careful.
The cyber security authority is now worried.
About what?
About the use of AI and all that in the election.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Good morning to all our viewers. I'm glad that you have started today's discussion with this very important matter. We are all receiving calls from and we see the outplay of heated arguments between the transport operators, officials from the Ministry of Transport, and the various associations. It appears that even within the associations, you don't see a certain common ground between GPRTU, the Concerned Drivers Association, and others. All of this, we have to be brutally honest in this discussion that this is a function of the economic crisis that we face. So all of these are symptoms. The fundamental issue is that we need to address the challenges with this economy. So if your exchange rate continues to be totally out of sorts, and you have these drivers depending on fuel prices that have become so erratic as a function of the worsening exchange rate situation. And so fuel prices are going up rampantly. At the same time, this exchange rate is also hitting them when it comes to their spare parts, servicing their vehicles, keeping their vehicles on the road. Because we are the same people who will accuse them that they are working with vehicles that are not in good condition. Police will arrest them, and they themselves will, at the point, suffer breakdown, and that will be the end of their daily bread. So you see the weak fundamentals of the economy affecting these drivers, and they are rational. I mean, nobody goes into this business to make losses. They want to make profits so that they can keep body and soul together, no matter how minimal the profit. And so they will pass it on. They'll pass it on. If you create an artificial climate, as we see the Ministry of Transport trying to do, seeking to prevent them from increasing their fares so that it can be consistent with the economic conditions. And you have rightly pointed out that you now have a fully deregulated petroleum regime. So fuel prices are going up, when they must go up, which we know the causes. So we must come back to the fundamentals. If you do not want fuel prices or transport fares, to go up, if you don't want transport fares to go up, let's go back to the causative effects and fix this economy. We can't continue with this situation where it's so chaotic, booms and busts. Impression is created that the CD has stabilized. Then in a few weeks, we are back. And when the NDC was being criticized that we were not being effective with managing the currency, it was under 4 cedis to $1. Now, it's in excess of 13. And you can't expect that everything will be held constant. Particularly transport fares.
Petrol at $14.99.
Yes.
A liter.
A liter. And that was a gallon. That was around a gallon, in 2016. Now, that's a liter. So you really can't blame these transport operators. So we must go back to the fundamental issue, which is the worsening economy. The managers of this economy and all of those who have engaged in a lot of huffing and puffing, claiming to have the magic wand, saying that they are the best managers of this economy. Where is Dr. Baumia in all of this? The head of the economic management team. Nana Akufo-Addo told us that the reason why he is engaging the running mate at the time is because of his economic prowess. And he held this country virtually to ransom with his lectures, about how he can manage the exchange rate. And that really is a fundamental issue, and that the NDC economic management team don't know what they're about. So that really is at the center of this issue. I mean, we can't avoid the foundation, the causal factors, and be discussing symptoms. We will always be here. So if we want stabilized transport fares, let us first of all stabilize the larger economy, stabilize the exchange rate. That will have an effect on fuel prices, it will have an effect on the prices of spare parts, and it will lead to a situation where the drivers and transport owners have no other choice than to simply pass the burden to the passenger. The other matter that we must consider in this discussion is that the Ghanaian people are feeling the brunt because for many, many, many years, we have talked about fully diversifying our transport sector and creating more options for our people. Our public transport system is in a state of disarray. In my constituency, there's virtually no public transport operating there. There are many constituencies like that. Public transport now is just a few routes, very few routes. So if we had an efficient, functioning public transport system, then if government wants to cushion the poor, the vulnerable, and wants to subsidize, that becomes an option worth considering. We've been talking about rail transport many years. And it's sad that over the period, particularly if you look at where we were in the 60s and 70s, we have rather reduced the number of rail networks that we used to operate as a country. Our parents, our grandparents have very fond memories of the vintage keteke and where they could travel to many parts of Ghana. What happened? Rail transport is relatively cheap. And many people who are forced today to depend on trotro, to depend on taxi, to depend on Uber or Bolt will have considered rail transport in all of its forms, whether it's monorails or trams or rapid transit system or their freight trains. So in this discussion, we must also consider how we fix the public transport system and offer more options to the passenger, to the commuter, because there are many people. Who love to pack their cars.
The consumer protest. He says that I agree with Nana Kumi on some of his comments. He says the solution to this is simple. Government should bring in more public transport. The transport unions are private entities, and remember, we're operating a free economy, and government should stop price control. Okay, so that's what he says. But are the government transport entities also expected to run at losses?
That's the point.
Yes.
The issue is not just bringing in more public transport. Because if you bring them in and they run at losses, in another 3-4 years, you have to bring in more buses or more, and it will be same government losing money. So the crucial thing is to get the pricing. Like any business, get the pricing right. There was a time in this country we used to announce the price of cigarettes.
Yes.
Yeah, during the budget.
In the budget.
Reciprocity.
And the price of fuel in the budget.
Yes, kerosene. Yeah.
Yes. And we moved away because we at a point realized that we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. So let's move away, have an agency that will monitor. But you must play as close as possible to the market.
Yeah, you know that every government, particularly within our climate, will be concerned about just allowing the transport operators to charge anything they want to charge because of the implications.
No, we haven't said so.
We have a situation where once transport fares go up, everything.
Yeah, but that was the discussion, Randy. Tell you.
So
that was the discussion we're having.
Yes.
We are not going to allow fares to be 100% market. What I have proposed is that have a benchmarking so that you can say a certain movement in fuel, and fuel is the major cost in transportation. A certain movement in the price of fuel, let's say 10%, will trigger a certain percentage in transport, say 4% or 5%. So you don't have a one-to-one marking, but it will be smoother. It will allow transport operators to recover some cost so they can buy spare parts.
But do you concede that even if you do that benchmarking and you don't address the fundamentals, that benchmarking will amount to nothing?
As for the fundamentals,
because if you
it's
fix
not
it,
just one second. It's not just transport. Even this, this one.
Exactly.
Exactly. If you don't address fundamentals, it will go up.
Yes. So you can't avoid that. You cannot avoid that because it will render your benchmarking useless.
Nobody disagrees.
If you benchmark,
but nobody disagrees with that.
Yeah. But I think that it is so crucial. It's so crucial. So the managers of the economy should pay attention. All of this is a reflection of the state of the economy. The economy is not in a good place. So it will have this adverse impact and it will reflect in all sectors.
Yeah.
So that's where we have to go to.
Now, my only comment is, I agree with some of the sentiments of Sami. My only disagreement is when he tried to play politics, as usual, because we all know that this economy that we are locked in, what we call the Goggisberg economy, we've been locked in this since you and I were born. And every person, every political party says we will change the fundamentals. We haven't been successful. So we are still locked in this Goggisberg.
But we cannot give up.
Nobody, how can you give up? Why are you sitting here if you've given up? So that is a historical problem. And when you
I was interacting with a friend who disagrees with this Goggisberg theory.
Why?
And his disagreement stems from the fact that if you look at the major drivers of our economy, it has changed. He says that from the time that the service sector took over and has been a dominant player, that even shows that there is a fundamental change in what drives the Ghanaian economy currently. And so he thinks that the issue there is
it's oversimplification.
Yes, the thing about Goggisberg is really
okay. And at that time during Goggisberg, we were not in charge of the economy.
Yeah, it says that even the Ghanaian economy, as it were 50 years ago, 40 years ago, is not what it is today.
But
what drives the economy today is not what drove it 40 years ago.
Let me give you a little.
And under Goggisberg, we were not in charge of our own destiny.
He agrees that there are a lot more we need to do.
We were not running.
But he says that the impression that the economy is the same is not true.
But the economy is not the same. The economy will change. We are talking about the fundamentals, not the status of the economy at any point in time. The economy of Ghana today is not the same as the economy of Ghana when you and I were in secondary school. It will change. But we are talking about the foundation. You have to have value addition.
Yes.
Every country that has moved will add value.
Yes.
That is where the jobs come. The jobs, that's where they come. That is where the forex comes. I mean, you can position yourself as a services provider, which is good. I mean, Ghana, for example, because of the peace and security, we can decide to provision ourselves as services provider and say education, and where we have educational excellence. And so all of these turbulent countries around us will bring their students here. And indeed, it's happening. Even our private universities, they're getting a lot of foreign students, especially from Nigeria. Health.
But we are not even leveraging on that.
We are not leveraging.
There's no strategy pushing that.
Health. You can position yourself as a medical excellence, a center of medical excellence.
Health tourism.
Even land. Because you are so peaceful and stable and you have a predictable democracy and so on, everybody wants to invest and get some property in your banking, your financial sector. So you can do that. But if you do not add value, and when you look at all the countries from England in 1800, the Industrial Revolution, it's all adding value. It spread to the continent of Europe. The reason why Europe was able to dominate the rest of the world was because of the value addition that the industry. Japan took it up later. Japan is the non-European that became. It's all value addition. So that one, you cannot run away from it. If you are, even cocoa, which is supposed to be our biggest thing, if you look at the industry, the monies that are in the industry and what we get from it from cocoa, it's so tiny. And really, services also must run on a certain foundation. So even though the services is fine, the foundation of your economy must be based on value addition. Look, so Facebook, the owner of Facebook, so he will sell shares in Facebook 30% and get $10 billion. That is services and getting a lot of money. It doesn't translate much into jobs.
Yes.
It doesn't translate much into value addition. And what the Chinese are doing now is that they've profiled themselves as a low-cost center of industry production. And everybody from Western Europe and America are moving production to, despite the huge monies flowing in IT and so on. The Chinese have overtaken Europe, gone way, way beyond Europe because of value addition. And services will follow. So the two should go together. But my point about Samio Kujeto's thing said, Bawumia has not managed the fundamentals well. So where is Bawumia?
That's a critical issue.
Let me tell you something.
The economic crisis as a result
let
of
me tell
the
you
bad
something.
showing of the managers of the economy.
Yes, there's no problem. I mean, I like the way you are happy about this.
It's not about
But
happiness. Why should I be happy when we are suffering? It's not about happiness.
In your 8 years,
Let's
in the 8 years that you were in office, the economy was in turmoil. I lie?
The exchange rate was 1:13.5.
Was the economy in turmoil or not?
Debt to GDP was over 100%.
Was the economy in turmoil or not?
We've never seen this. We've never seen a debt exchange
So
program.
we've
never gone through
so clearly,
this catastrophe.
we've been in economic turmoil for a long, long time. You can't run away from it.
But the degree, the severity.
Fine. You ask for degree, you can say somebody has done worse than you, fine. But you would agree that this economy has always been in turmoil.
But have we gone from bad to worse?
That's a measurement that you can look at in this.
Yes.
But I'm saying the economy has always been bad. And your candidate, President Mahama, was president. And under his watch, the economy was bad.
And what did you tell the
And
Ghanaian people?
we told the Ghanaian people that the economy was bad.
Yes, and that you can fix it.
And that we can fix it.
And after 7 years,
And when you give
still giving
Bawumia,
us theories.
when you give Bawumia the chance, he will fix it.
He hasn't had the chance. He's an opposition leader.
No, he's not an opposition
He's
leader.
not the head of the economic management team.
No. He is not the president.
And now come here.
He is not. Is Bawumia the president?
He's not the head of the economic management
Now,
team.
what is Mahama and Bawumia?
Doc,
What
do you
are-
have
can I
that
finish?
video when Nana Akufo-Addo said why he chose him as running mate? Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
Akufo-Addo-
To come fix the economy
Listen, you
because
can-
he admitted that he is not an economist.
Have you finished? Let me tell you a fundamental issue, which is a truth you can't run away from. Akufo-Addo may say what he wants. You may play whatever video of Akufo-Addo you want to play. The fundamental situation is that Bawumia has never been president. Mahama has been president for 4.5
You
years.
never take responsibility.
You
never
can
take responsibility.
Can I say, you can tell the whole world that Bawumia is the economic management team or Akufo-Addo is giving him. Whatever you say, The fundamental principle is that he has never held executive power.
So when Mahama
when I finish, then you can come
was president,
No,
and
no,
Bawumia was firing 170 questions to the vice president at the time, Emi Sata. What was he communicating?
And what did you tell Emi Sata? What did you tell Emi Sata? So the fundamental issue is that the two of them, what are they contesting for? They are contesting for the presidency, isn't it? Are they contesting for the vice presidency? They are contesting for the presidency. The two of them, one has been president.
Is Bawumia not contesting on the record of the MPP government, of which he has been vice president and chairman of the economic management team for 8 years?
You've seen his speech.
Yes, but speech against a record.
No, you've seen his speech.
Yes.
He will contest on the record, he will contest on his vision. Yeah. Okay. He will contest on his record, he will contest on his vision. And I'm saying that fundamentally, the two individuals, they are contesting for the presidency of Ghana. They are not contesting for the vice presidency. They're contesting for the one position, the presidency.
So now let me...
between the two of them, one has been president
So Nana, let
for
me,
4.5 years.
Nana, let me ask you this. So one has never been president.
Yeah.
When the one who was president,
Yeah.
he, the one who's never been president, took pains to tell us about how incompetent
Yeah.
the one who was president was.
Yeah.
And he had lectures. He stood on platforms.
Yeah.
He told us so many things. He proffered solutions.
Yeah.
In fact, he even directed us to a website where we should go and find solutions to how we can manage the currency and the economy and everything. And he told us that, look, on the basis of all this, if we gave the opportunity
To the NPP.
the MPP, of which he was the running mate and therefore was going to be vice president, you will do better.
Yeah.
You will do better. And told us all the things that you're going to do.
Yes.
You were given the opportunity on the basis of a lot of those promises. In fact, the then flag bearer himself told us that it is on the basis of the ills of the economy that he was bringing Bawumia in to come and deal with the economy.
Yeah.
In fact, Bawumia's wife herself told us about his brilliance and how, if given the opportunity, he will completely change this economy. He, Bawumia himself, told us severally.
Yeah.
Now, he's been given the opportunity. His government has been given the opportunity. When he was saying all those things, he knew he was not going to be the president. He knew that he was not going to be the president. Now, we have seen the opportunity. We have seen what his government has been able to do.
You know,
And now we are told that, no, he was not a president.
Well,
And so look at his vision.
No, you say you are told that he's not the president.
That's what you are saying.
But you don't know he's not the president.
No, I'm saying that. Listen,
I'm not the one telling you.
No,
That's
you are telling me that
Yes, he's not the president.
he's not a president. So don't hold him responsible.
No.
But rather look at what he tells you that if he's given the presidency, he will do. But not what he told you 8 years ago.
Okay, Randy, there's something that you said which answers your question. You said that his government was given the opportunity.
Yes. It's
That's
part of
it.
which form the
Yes. He is not the head of that government. Somebody can tell you that the fundamentals of the economy were much, much better than any similar period in the Fourth Republic from 2017 to 2019, looking at the indicators. And that the troubles that we are going through now are largely external, and that they've been occasioned by the COVID-19 and also the Russian-Ukraine war. But when you look at the period where these external difficulties were not there, the economy was doing much better. Somebody could tell you that.
I won't buy it.
But somebody too would hold that. And they can give you figures to support what they are saying.
I won't buy it, especially on the back of the receipt of $6 billion.
But I'm saying that
for that period.
That one is some viewpoints and viewpoints. So somebody will say, I buy it, somebody will say, I don't buy it. I don't have a problem with that. But the fundamental issue that you cannot run away from, whatever you do, is that the man has never been president. The things that Dr. Bawumia said, it's not just Dr. Bawumia. All of us also said the same thing, that when we give the NPP the chance, we will do better than the NDC. But the fact that I said so does not then mean that I have the executive authority. What they are contesting for now is the executive authority of Ghana.
So Nana, why should anybody listen to you? The person who sold Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
And we have seen what we are seeing. Why should anybody listen to you if you are selling somebody else?
I'm selling Dr. Bawumia.
No, I'm saying, why should anybody listen to you? Somebody who says that, I believe Nana Komia.
Because Dr. Bawumia is a different person.
No, but I'm saying that for somebody who says that Nana Komia sold me this.
Okay, let me answer your question directly. Yes. John Mahama sold himself that he would do a lot of stuff. We gave him the presidency for 4.5 years. He couldn't do it. So between him and Bawumia, on the same scale, person to person, who would you choose? The person who has been given, who came and said, give me executive authority, and I will perform. And then we gave him the executive authority for 4.5 years, the longest of any first-term president. He couldn't perform. He's come back.
Shouldn't I be comparing?
One second. He's come back to say, give me back the authority. But we gave you the authority.
Shouldn't I be comparing his performance when he had the authority as against those who said that he was incompetent and should be given the opportunity and that they are more competent?
Yes.
Shouldn't that be comparing their output
to
his output and making a determination of whether
the output
he deserves to come back or not?
The output you are comparing, you are not comparing a president and a president. You are comparing somebody who's been president and somebody who's been vice president.
I'm not comparing personalities. I'm comparing output. Position. As a Ghanaian,
yes, I agree. But
what do I take decisions on? It's on the basis of the performance of a government.
You are talking about the performance of somebody who's been president. And you are saying we should relate it to the performance of somebody who is vice president. But the two of them are not contesting for vice president. They are contesting for president.
Vice President Bawumia himself held Vice President Mahama responsible for the economy of this country for the 4 years that he was chairman of the economic management team.
Yeah, and did same to Vice
He has a video. I show it every day where he holds President Mahama responsible for 8 years of the economy, and he explains the 8 years by saying 4 years as chairman of the economic management team and 4 years as president. Didn't Dr. Bawumia know that the vice president is not in charge?
When did Dr. Bawumia hold Vice President Mahama?
I'm saying that.
No, when? Tell me.
Annie, give me the video.
He's always been holding President Mahama.
I'm saying that, no, Nana, just hold on. I will show you the video.
Oh, show me.
He holds him responsible for being in charge of the economy for 8 years. And he explains the 8 years as 4 years as chairman of the economic management team and 4 years as president.
But you know, Randy, and I read a letter to you here.
Yes.
That the chairman of the economic management team, or the economic management team itself, is advisory.
But didn't Dr. Bawumia know that?
He knows that.
So why did he say that? Why did he hold John Mahama responsible for the performance of the economy?
How long was John Mahama vice president?
About three years and 7 months or so, yes.
And how long was he president?
Acting president for, 4 years and...
4.5 years.
Yes, 4 years and 5 months, yes.
So as for him, he cannot run away from responsibility.
How?
For the economy. Because 4.5 years he was president.
4.5 years is 8 years.
He was president. 4.5 years he was president.
Well, let's watch Dr. Bawumia.
Yeah. Let's
see. Steering him, the government, of course, has already cut and abolished teacher training allowances and nursing training allowances. The president said, even if it was going to cost him the election, he wasn't going to restore them. Didn't he say it? But today, with just 2 months to the election, feeling defeat staring him in the face. He is trying to make an about turn and say that he wants to restore the allowances. Do you believe him? Do you believe him? We have to treat that promise with the contempt that it deserves. It is a propaganda promise. It is a 419 promise. If you vote for him, he will cancel it in 2017. We cannot trust him and his word on this issue. You can only trust Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Of course, the NDC and President Mahama are going about saying that these reductions in taxes that we are going to implement as part of our comprehensive program of economic reform. They are going around saying that our manifesto promises are going to ruin the economy. I'm just so baffled. You, a president, you have presided in 8 years over the collapse of our economy. If you knew the plan that could work for the economy and be successful, why haven't you implemented that plan in 8 years? Why? If you know what can work for our economy, why is the economy collapsing in your hands after 8 years? You clearly do not understand the economic plans and underpinning the MPP manifesto. So your task is to make our economy work. You cannot do it, and now you want to say the MPP plan cannot work. You have essentially no legs to stand on in saying the MPP plan cannot work, because your own plan has collapsed the economy, and we are bringing a new plan for the economy, and a new plan that will work. It will work. We reduced taxes during our tenure of office. Corporate taxes were brought down from 32% to 25%. And at the same time, we saw a major increase.
All right. So that's this video. There is another video also that buttresses the point. But in this one, you see him make the point about you were in charge of the economy for 8 years. And the plan didn't work. You say we should give you another opportunity to make the plan work.
So what's the point? What's the point?
So I'm saying that he knows that John Mahama was not president for 8 years. Yes, he holds him responsible for being in charge of the economy for 8 years.
Okay.
Consistently.
Now.
And you heard him say that as for their plan, the plan is talking about it will work.
It will work. Yeah.
Look, my fundamental.
We are in the 8th year.
My fundamental.
When is the
point,
plan going to work?
You can beat me on the head.
When will the plan work?
You can hit my head.
You will never cry.
My fundamental point is still simple.
Yes.
All of us know that the executive authority in this country is vested in the president. If you chose to tell the Ghanaian people that a vice president has executive authority, and so if there are difficulties, we should blame it on the vice president, you can do that. But I do not believe that the Ghanaian people would buy it. Because the Ghanaian people know the difference between a vice president and a president. In fact, President Akufo-Addo himself, I think, I don't know if it's the last Sona or so, said that he has final responsibility. There's a lot of good things, there's a lot of things that are not good. But the president has said he has final responsibility. And that is the fundamental truth. And the truth is always simple. The two of them are contesting for the presidency of Ghana. They are not contesting for the vice presidency of Ghana. And we know that the authority is vested in the president. Between the two of them, one has been given that chance to be executive, to have the executive authority. One has not.
Right.
And when John Mahama was given the chance to have the executive authority, we all saw the performance. He's had a chance to act in that role. We saw the performance. But Mia has never had a chance. You can play all your videos and do all your quotations. You cannot run away from the simple facts that the position that they are asking the Ghanaian people for, Bawumia has never occupied that position. You can do whatever that you want to say.
Right.
You can't run away from that fact.
Yes.
Doc,
Yes.
so when you listen to Nana Komia and his collaborators, it is as though we have a president who is so impervious to advice, doesn't listen to his colleagues, does not listen to the vice president, who is the chair of the economic management team. Now let's hear what the president told Parliament during his message on the state of the nation. I want to read from page 6 of the president's address to Parliament, only in February this year, a few months ago. I'm quoting President Akufo-Addo verbatim. He says, quote, "It will be an unwise president, that will pretend to have all the answers and refuse the advice of his officials. But the fact remains that the president holds the executive power. The cabinet, the ministers of state, all act in an advisory manner. Of course, a member of the government might take an idea, be it generated by the president or the official or a committee, and turn it into a huge success, and the honors will be claimed or shared where public perception falls."
But what you are saying supports my position.
So
The quotation that you have supports.
this is
This one, the president was addressing
yes,
those who said that.
exactly that they are only mates and
they didn't listen to the vice president. The president
It's a lame duck.
Yeah.
No. That
Yes.
all the things that Dr. Bawumia said, he wasn't listening
he wasn't listened to.
on the levy, he wasn't listening
Yes.
to on this, he wasn't
Yeah.
listening to on this. I'm sure you've heard.
Who said so?
Oh,
The vice president himself,
He said what?
in his speech,
He said
and
what?
then anytime he speaks now, I won't ban excavators. I don't support e-levy. I don't like what GRA is doing.
You listen.
Look.
You were a deputy minister at some
Can
point.
I
I just
make?
want to ask you a question. You were deputy minister at a point.
Yes.
Was everything that you said taken by your minister?
Why not? We are working as a team.
So everything
So
that you
there's a discussion.
everything that you
If-
said, your minister.
My minister's approach is that she will subject every suggestion, every idea to a discussion, to a debate. We'll have a vigorous debate. And at the end of the day, we all agree.
And if the
on
discussion
conclusion,
didn't
and
agree
we
with
share,
you- one second.
we share on the day of reckoning. And I have never done that. I won't say that, as for this matter, she didn't listen to my advice. Or you thought that is not what you
the fact that you have an
Because
opinion.
if I feel so strongly
The
about
fact
my
that you have an
opinion,
opinion.
then you should have
The
resigned.
fact that you have an
Let
opinion,
Randy
Nana,
Yes.
the fact that you have an opinion does not mean that
It is superior.
you should not be open to
Yes.
a superior viewpoint.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Because
Exactly.
when your
So-
opinion is put on the table,
Exactly.
But
And debated.
when there is a superior viewpoint and you succumb to that viewpoint,
Exactly.
you cannot
were
turn
part of
around
the team.
and
You
create the
never
impression that
you never resigned. You did not state your opposition.
You said.
And I'm not saying that is what happened.
When it
Yeah,
mattered.
we all know. We don't know what happened. Yes.
So,
but even if we don't know what
it is my turn. It's my turn to speak. Nana, you've been speaking all morning. So the president has told you write it down. It's my turn. The president has told Parliament and the nation that he's not an unwise president.
Yes. And so
He's not an unwise president. And that it will be only an unwise president. And interestingly, the president was speaking after that infamous address by the vice president claiming as for him he was just a mate. Everybody should blame the driver Banza. This is President Akufo-Addo. Says it will be an unwise president that will pretend to have all the answers. This is a direct dig at his vice president. And all those who are all over the place, including Nana Akoumia, who's become his most vociferous campaign manager, that separate.
He's the vice chairman of the campaign. He's the vice chair of the campaign.
Yeah, but he's overdoing his work.
How?
And running into illogicalities and absurdities.
Nana is only good at what he does. He's good at what he does.
But clearly Nana is now overdoing it and totally out of order. So
it's gone. It's like the train that hits something. He's gone off the track.
So the question many Ghanaians will be asking this morning is, so who do we believe? President Akufo-Addo is saying that I'm not an unwise president.
Yes.
I listen to them. I follow their advice, Baumia and the cabinet. All those who are running away from me, don't listen to them. Don't mind them. I am not an unwise president. I have never pretended to have all the answers. This is what President Akufo-Addo is saying. And yet you listen to Baumia and his campaign managers, and they say Baumia was not listened to. Baumia has never been president. Baumia didn't get the opportunity to implement his vision, his ideas, meaning that President Akufo-Addo was impervious to advice. So who do we listen to? Who is telling us the truth? That is why, look, the Ghanaian people are resolved that all these your games, and you are virtually insulting our intelligence. You take us for granted. You have no respect for the Ghanaian people. When you were campaigning, delivering your lectures, telling us all the prowess, the abilities you have, did you ever provide any caveats? Did you ever tell us that, oh, remember, I'm only going to be a vice president? Did you ever speak to any limitations, any restrictions? The president himself, as candidate, said he will give you all room to operate. That is why he's brought you. Now he's telling us, after 7 years, telling Parliament that people of Ghana, I will be unwise. In other words, I will be a fool to think that I have all the answers. And so I have never run this country as Nana Yentumefo. I have always listened to the advice of my officials, my vice president and everybody. So what is this belated, very unfair attempt? For the first time, I'm beginning to feel for President Akufo-Addo what his own colleagues are doing to him, his own party people are doing to him.
They are blaming him.
I mean, as the man has become a leper. They're treating him like a pariah. Everybody is running away from him. His own party people. And the man is still president in poll. He's president, they are doing this to him. Imagine the kind of retirement this man will have when he leaves office. Okay, he is president and his appointees. Nana Akoumia he forgets that he is the president's appointee. And the president today can decide that go home like you're going to. And you're beating him up.
They are not making Nana.
You are kicking him.
Profitable with their pricing policy. They can take their job.
And Nana is kicking the old. Look, the man is down. He's already had a tough period. He's been a disaster at his job. And his own party people are kicking him. Kicking him in the groin. Why? Why?
Now
have some mercy on the and please
on the old man.
On the old man. Fine. But 30 seconds. Look, having said that, we are happy any day to have a debate on the record of President Mahama as vice president and as president. More than happy. Bring it on. Okay. As vice president, chair of the economic management team, Ghana had the longest period of single-digit inflation. It's never happened. As vice president of the economic management team, we had 1 million metric tons of cocoa production.
We'll get into those
never happened since it. So bring it on. Let that time come. And let it come quickly.
Yes. In a couple of what Samuel Okudzeto quoted the president as saying reinforces my point.
No, it doesn't.
The president said, all of them are advisory. They advise me. It is not every advice that I'll reject.
Be unwise not to take the advice.
Which mean that there are some advice he will reject. As we speak, even today, I am sure the president is rejecting some advice.
So we should stop insulting the president. You're making him look like unwise.
Randy says I should speak for 2 minutes. That one to you won't allow me. You don't want the truth to come
Even
out.
The president quotation, today, you are misrepresenting the president.
Today, as we speak, yes, it is not every advice that is being given to President Akufo-Addo that he takes. Even as we speak.
Yeah, but he takes some.
He takes some.
Yes.
Maybe those ones are
takes
not
some.
wise.
So, so this trying to say that because he says he will take advice means that
That he has
everything
taken
that
advice.
he does is an advice from Dr. Bawumia. It cannot fly. He says Bawumia's speech is infamous because he said his mate. John Mahama too said his mate. Didn't he? He said his mate. He said so.
He was a co-driver. He didn't use mate. He's never used mate.
But that's even worse.
He was a co-driver.
No, but that's even worse.
Co-driver,
Anyway.
co-pilot. It's not worse.
And why was he telling him he was co-driver? He was telling him he was co-driver. He was saying that he wasn't the driver. He was co.
Yeah.
The STC, you
Assistant
have a
driver.
co-driver and a conductor, not so.
Yeah.
But
so-
you allow your conductor to drive a bus.
1 second.
So
John Mahama,
so they're not the same.
John Mahama says, I'm a co-driver.
Yes.
Now, why was he keen on telling us that?
Because that's what a vice president is.
Yes.
To tell us that he is not the driver. So now, give me the drivership.
Right, a co-driver is a driver.
Yeah, it's a dri- it's a
Bawumia
co-driver.
says the same. So why was he telling us that?
As a STC. Will you
Now, let-
allow
so
your conductor
when-
to drive your
A
bus?
lot of these mates are not even licensed.
So when Bawumia says the same thing,
they don't have a driver's
listen,
license.
when Bawumia says the same thing, Samuel Kuyato is telling us it's infamous.
Right.
You know, the propaganda, it doesn't, they don't even think about
You are
it.
doing
too
propaganda.
much,
Now,
And you're throwing
Now-
President Akufo-Addo under your STC bus.
the
Throwing
good
him
thing,
under
the
the
good
bus.
thing about for President Akufo-Addo in this election year
Yes.
is that the NDC, they've become his biggest sympathizers. And that's a positive thing. I like it. Because they've been throwing the man under the bus for the last 7 years. Now, all of a sudden, they are the people who
Now
are
you
now
people-
taking him
yeah,
out of
because
the
you are doing
It's
it,
okay,
you are
it's okay.
doing it more
They can't
effectively.
stand-
You are doing it more
They
effectively.
can't stand the
It's
ingratitude.
okay.
Yes, yeah. You know, and his own appointees. His own
The
appointees.
STC can't stand the ingratitude.
Yeah.
Now,
So we have
and
to
then
sympathize with the whole man.
and in the attempt to do the propaganda,
Yeah.
Samuel Kujato is telling us
The man has even turned 80 and they are doing this.
how the Ghanaian people are resolved. When did you see that resolution?
It's all over the place.
All
I mean, we
over
are
which
always
place?
interacting
The
with
last
them.
time
You don't read the polls.
maybe at Nofton, but the last time the Ghanaian people resolved,
Yes.
for the last 2 times, they rejected John Mahama. They rejected John Mahama.
How about the
so
last
don't
3
come,
times or the last
don't
4
come
times?
and tell us that they are resolved.
A convenient
When
cut-off point.
did you know that resolution? And he said because we haven't shown them respect. John Mahama told Ghanaians that you cannot advise him or criticize him unless you've been president before. Is that showing respect?
Totally take him out of
What
context.
level? That one there, I have to bring in context.
take it out of context.
What level of disrespect is bigger than telling the people who elected you that they cannot?
Hasn't he been video? No. That's
They-
what
they
he was telling
cannot-
Bawumia that take it easy. You see, you don't understand a lot of the things. You haven't.
Let Anne
you
play-
haven't been on
let
the seat.
Anne find that video
You haven't
and
been
play
on
it.
the seat. So
It-
and he's been
Very
vindicated.
incompetent Mahama.
Yes,
Incompetent
yes.
Mahama. Incompetent.
Yeah.
He was addressing.
He was addressing
Bawumia.
Bawumia and telling him that
Yes.
I called him
look,
incompetent.
yes, that
But
take
I'm
your
saying
time.
I called him
We all know.
That
we
take
all
your
know
time.
who generated
That
the
take your
incompetent
time.
thing. We
I
all know.
called Chief.
And he
I
said,
called him incompetent.
look, be measured,
Akufo-Addo-
be careful.
Akufo-Addo
You haven't
called
been
him.
there before. And Mahama's been vindicated.
Randy is giving me 2 minutes.
Because
And yet
you've
you
gone
don't let me
beyond.
talk.
You're still talking
It's
for
harassing
7
you.
minutes.
It's harassing you.
That's why he does all the time. And because you like him, you feel he's your protege. You know, you allow him to. Now, listen,
Look at that. Look at that.
now I'm saying to you,
I
very
just
clear.
want you to have a little taste of your medicine. How President Akufo-Addo is feeling in his office.
Political communications 101.
I have said that.
What you are doing to Nana Akufo-Addo, I want
said
you to
that.
have a little feel.
I am happy that President Akufo-Addo, in his 8th year,
Yeah.
is getting some respect
Yeah.
from the NDC.
Yeah, some sympathy.
Now the NDC is championing his cause, and they're sympathizing with
They
him.
say your ingratitude is sickening.
It is sickening. It's so sickening.
So,
So
if you are
depressing.
going to talk about somebody disrespecting the Ghanaian electorate, you can't go beyond President Mahama.
You are
Now,
not there.
he said, my last point is that he says that the record of John Mahama, they are going to defend it and all of that.
Bring it on.
No, we are not going to bring it on. That record was rejected by the Ghanaian people in 2016, for your information. And it was rejected by the largest margin suffered by a sitting president in the history of the Fourth Republic, for your information.
You recognize that in the next election, they will be doing a comparative analysis of records?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So that record, and we are happy at that comparative age, because that John Mahama's record is a record that has been rejected by the people of Ghana.
Okay.
It's never happened to a sitting president.
Okay. All right.
Every president who's come, his record is impressive enough for the Ghanaian electorate to give them a second chance.
Okay.
They gave J.J. Rawlings a second chance. They gave J.A. Kufuor a second chance. They gave Nana Akufo-Addo a second chance. John Mahama is the only president who was not given a second chance on the record. And when you look at the level of rejection, the rejection is a record.
Again.
So if that's the record you want to campaign,
Again, John, this analysis.
show me.
President Mahama
Sure.
took office in a second term because Professor Mills didn't finish his 2-term mandate. And it was the 8th year, and the tradition continued. So you need to factor that in. That was a novel situation.
Which tradition?
It was a novel situation.
No, which tradition?
The 8-year tradition. If you look
The
at
Fourth
since
Republic.
of the Fourth Republic since 1992.
Oh. So John Mahama was not
So-
rejected on his record,
So
but it's on the tradition.
no, because
It
when
was
you
rejected because
when
of
you
the
speak
tradition.
as though everybody who you are talking about was alive and continued
No, Chief.
into their second
No,
term.
what I want to, I don't know everything. I listen to advice. What you are advising me today
Yeah.
is that John
Is
Mahama
that
was
the-
not
Is that the
rejected.
2012 situation was novel?
John Mahama was not rejected based on his record.
Who
But
has
he
said
was,
that?
He was rejected because of the
No, you are
8-year
saying
tradition.
no. You are saying that,
Is that
you are saying that everybody
was given
was
8
given
years.
8 years.
Except John Mahama.
Yes.
Are you challenging
and,
that?
And I'm saying that you need to situate that in proper context.
What is the context? What is the context?
You are an intellectual. You know that the 2012 none of the presidents
That none of the presidents who was given 8 years.
Yes.
came
Had
in.
had his party do
Yes.
4 years proud to.
Yes.
to
So
get to that.
the advice we have been given this morning is that John Mahama was not rejected on his record as president, but he was rejected on the basis of an 8-year
this is a
tradition.
propaganda interpretation. After you have been exposed by the facts, you are now doing propaganda interpretation.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. With me on the show, I have the Honorable Nana Komi and the Honorable Samuel Kujato Ablakwa. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, I was got the Mola, got the power. Ghana's New Year's lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayesoko, Dakosombo down be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. It's not for persons under 18 and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. So go and grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 055 001 0000. Okay. So, and I don't know if you've been following Sammy's exploits this week. He's done a part 1 and a part 2 on a ministry.
The cathedral?
A ministry that superintends your company. The Ministry of Transport. And this has to do with the Buankra Inland Port. And Sammy is making some very, very serious allegations. Sammy, what's the issue?
Yeah, Doc. So I decided to go through the government's tracker when it was launched. I noticed that two major projects were totally missing. The National Cathedral, no mention of it at all.
It's only 5% complete.
Even though,
but speed ramps were there.
Speed ramps were there.
Speed
ramps.
Speed ramps.
Yes.
And the tracker does
the
not
local
have
assemblies would
the tracker is not.
have been taken.
There is. I saw even a security post for a DC.
Yes.
It's the DC. It's the tracker. There is jesses from the 28 jesses. Then there's 29 desks. 29 mono desks from the Office of Government Machinery donated to Zongos. 29.
It's on the tracker?
My
achievements appear more impressive.
Yes, hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. I said I was going to ask you that, but I forgot. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
In 2020, Dr. Bawumia, there was a tracker that was launched.
Yes.
And then Dr. Bawumia granted Kwame Sefakai an interview. And he said that on that tracker in 2020. I've played that video. That there were over 18,000. When the tracker was launched, there was 17,000. Yeah. Then when he was conducting that interview, he said that they've even realized that there were some, over 1,000 that had not been added. So it gives you above 18,000. Then that's 2020. So almost 4 years on with this new tracker. Then Kojo Apon Nkrumah, in speaking at the launch of the tracker, then says that the projects on the tracker are 13,000 plus. So I was wondering how. 4 years ago, the government projects were over 18,000. Almost 4 years on, they have reduced to 13,000 plus. There must be an explanation.
But this tracker is from 2021.
No, it's government projects throughout.
For the 8 years.
For the 8 years.
Yeah. You sure?
Yes, it's for the 8 years.
Maybe Kojo was counting from 2021.
How?
No, because having spoken to him, that's what you are saying.
No, I can play both videos for you.
No, I don't have a problem. I'm saying that
in 2020, Dr. Bawumia said 18,000.
One
plus,
second.
Yes.
I don't speak for Kojo Nkrumah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if his figures are much less, he's probably counting from 2021. Because I also had the impression that we're going to do, because we've done the 2020
no, it can't
tracker.
be, because when you go on this tracker, there are projects that predate 2021.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then maybe he was projecting from 2021. But I'll find out. I'll send him a test.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I discovered that two major projects, the government was totally silent. The National Cathedral project, $58 million of our taxes. Today, that is in excess of 700 million Ghana cedis. Not a mention. Then I decided to also find out what they have to say about the Buankra project, which is a major project. It's been a dream of,
for a long time.
For a long time.
That will be Ghana's first inland port.
Yes,
right?
Ghana's first inland port. And the people of the Ashanti region, Otumfuo himself has made this a legacy project. Yeah. He was at the sword cutting, in 2020. So I decided to look into that project because for these, that they are quick to praise themselves, even for mono desks, jesses, security posts and all of that. So when they don't talk about something, you have to get suspicious and look into it. So I decided to do some digging. And what I'm discovering, Doc, is most shocking. So on the 18th of August 2020, Parliament passed a resolution. I have a copy here. The resolution was an approval for a build, operate, and transfer concessionary agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Transport, Ghana Shippers Authority, and Ashanti Port Services Limited, a consortium of Afun Quality Limited, Ghana, and DSS Associates of South Korea, for an amount of up to 330 million United States dollars for the Buankra Inland Port, which properly so-called is known as the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal. So I decided to find out what the progress of work is. Then I realized that.
So which date again?
So this is 18 August. The approval was 14 August 2020. Mm-hmm. Then the clerk to Parliament communicated our approval on the 18th of August 2020.
So the approval was 14th of August.
14th of August, yes.
Right.
Friday, 14th of August 2020.
Right.
Now, you know that this government is prosecuting the Honorable Collins Dauda and others, Saglemi, that they, on their own, at their ministry, have varied the terms of a parliamentary approval, a parliamentary resolution.
Right.
This is such a violent violation, a mutilation of what has been approved. I have discovered that, contrary to this approval, the transport minister has handpicked a company unknown to the Ghanaian parliament, not part of this deal, called Jasmore Construction Limited. And whereas this was supposed to be a build, operate, transfer, meaning that the people will raise their own funding, complete this work in 3 years. So President Akufo-Addo at the sword cutting in 2020, 5th November 2020, told the Otumfuo, the people of Ashanti, the Ghanaian people, that by 2023, he will commission the Buankra.
That would have been November 23.
Yes, November 2023, last year. And under the agreement, the consortium will operate for 30 years, and then it will become part of Ghana because they have to recoup their investment. So for BOT, we all know that you don't put in any state resource. The people go and the consortium go and find their own money. Only to discover that apparently on the blind side of Parliament, government resources have been going into this project. So the minister has handpicked a Jasmore Construction
Just
Company.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I need some
Yeah.
clarity on the issue. With what Parliament approved,
Yes.
was government expected to make any contributions, any monetary contributions, any financial contributions?
No, the consortium was to raise the funds. The 330
So
million.
government was not enjoined to provide some 10% or 5%
No.
or 1% of the funding?
No, no. But I have now discovered that the minister, contrary to this parliamentary approval, asked the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, GPHA, to buy shares into the consortium, the Ashanti Ports Limited, the consortium.
Which was Afram and the Koreans?
Yes, Afram and the Koreans.
Okay.
And that share, the ordinary shares, the value is $33,300,000 United States dollars.
So the ministry instructed GPHA,
Yes.
a state agency,
A state agency.
to go and buy shares
Yes,
in that company.
exactly. And I have the minister's letter here. And then I also have the share certificate. This is the share certificate that AP, as Ashanti Ports, handed over to Ghana Ports as evidence of the shares. Then, interestingly, when it comes to paying the money, this $33 million, the minister instructs that don't pay the money to the people who are giving you the certificate, the Ashanti Ports. Pay it to this company called Jasmore.
Why?
The company that he handpicked.
Why?
That they are going to do the actual construction. So pay them.
Okay, so let me understand something. You buy shares from a company.
Yes.
The company gives you a share certificate.
Exactly.
The company does not instruct you where to make the payment.
Yes.
But it's the minister who instructs you to make the payment somewhere else.
Exactly. And indeed, Ashanti Port Services Limited wrote a letter to GPHA cautioning them. This is the letter to the Director General that don't pay the money to Jasmore.
But how is Jasmore connected to the Ashanti Ports? Whatever?
So I have seen board minutes where everybody says we didn't bring Jasmore. It was instruction from above.
To bring them to do what?
To do the construction, preparatory works, rehabilitate the administration.
Are they bringing them as part of the...
As contractors.
Not as part of the company?
No.
I want to understand something. Not as part of the company.
It initially began as though they were subcontractors.
Okay.
But then it didn't come from Ashanti Port. The concessionaires should have been allowed to choose their own.
But per all the documentation that you have, Jasmore is not a shareholder in this company.
No.
GPHA bought shares in this company.
Yes.
Yet they paid the money to a subcontractor.
Yes.
And it was not on the advice of the company that sold the shares.
Exactly.
Who asked them to pay the money to Jasmine?
The minister.
Where's the letter?
So let me. I'm building up. There are more scandalous parts to this. So the money is paid to Jasmine. Ashanti Port continues to protest.
Mm-hmm. Written.
And it's here. The latest one, 28 August 2023. They are ignored. Then they decide that, look.
What they are protesting? They are protesting about what?
The payment to Jasmine, the fact that they have not authorized Jasmine to execute the project.
Hey.
And Jasmine has ignored them. They don't know what Jasmine is doing and all of that. Meanwhile, all the payments are going to... And they also found out that Jasmine has selected their own consultants. And the consultants had initially told them that the work that Jasmine has done should be $4 million. Suddenly they realized that they have raised certificates, and I have the certificates here. They've raised certificates totaling $36 million instead of $4 million. So these are the certificates. You have 22nd May 2023. This is for $6.4 million. Then there's this certificate for $22.3 million. And these are all our money, our taxes.
So who appointed Jasmine?
The minister.
As what? Contractor?
Yes. Yes.
But how is that possible?
So as the tussles continue, the Ashanti Port is protesting. They are writing to Ghana ports. Then they decide to take Jasmine on. So they go to arbitration.
Okay.
And I have the arbitration documents here, where you see the Ghana Arbitration Center appointing the chair of the arbitration tribunal. They've started sitting, but they haven't delivered their final verdict here yet. Then there's this interesting letter signed by the minister. So as they go to arbitration, the wranglings continue. Jasmine writes to the minister seeking clarity. And the minister responds. This is the managing director, Jasmine Construction Limited. Termination of concession agreement, continuation of construction work on the Boakra project. And this letter is signed by the Honorable Minister, the Honorable Kweku Fori-Siama, dated 21st November 2023. Says, I refer to your letter dated 2nd November 2023, addressed to Ashanti Port Services Limited, and copy the ministry of the ministry on the termination of the contract agreement with the APSL. Now the minister says that he's terminated the concession agreement. Okay. He hasn't come back to Parliament, and he's doing his own thing with Jasmine.
He's terminated which concession agreement?
The concession
what
Parliament approved.
Against which company?
Against Ashanti Port Services Limited, which is a consortium of Afun Quality and then the Koreans, the DSS, the Korea company.
So what happens to the shares bought by GPHA?
It says it's all terminated. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Okay.
It's bizarre.
Okay.
So the minister says that I refer to your letter dated 2nd November 2023, addressed to Ashanti Port Services Limited, APSL, and copy the ministry on the termination of the contract agreement with the APSL on the construction of Phase 1A of Boakra Integrated Logistics Terminal Project. I write to confirm that the concession agreement between the Ghana Shippers Authority, acting on behalf of the Ministry of Transport, and the Ashanti Port Services Limited, APSL, has been terminated with effect from 5th August 2023.
5th August 2023.
Yeah. Then he continued.
Please hold on a minute. When was the payment to Jasmine made?
That was made earlier. It was.
When was the shares bought?
The
share certificate was issued with date.
Just the share certificate.
Which date was it
The
issued?
share certificate, 3rd March 2023.
3rd March 2023.
2023,
when did GPHA make the payment?
So, I'm trying to get the EcoBank payment details. I have that. So many documents.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
Sorry, I know you have.
Yes.
You have scheduled how you're going to go about it, but also for our viewers,
yes.
I need a clarification so that we'll be able to follow it properly.
I understand. So this is a payment to the EcoBank account of Jasmine dated 26 September, payment date 26 September 2022.
22?
Yes.
Okay, so the payment was made 2022 September?
Yes.
But the share certificate was issued when?
3rd March 2023.
3rd March 2023?
Yes.
And the contract was terminated when?
The minister says with effect from 5th August 2023.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, please go on.
Yeah.
But so, Samuel, so your main contention
Yeah.
is that the money was paid to the contractor.
Yes, to the contractor.
Just more.
Yes.
And you said there's something wrong with it.
And just more.
For shares bought from?
The money should have been paid to Ashanti Ports, not this company handpicked. And my checks at the PPA also confirmed that they did not engage the PPA in any way. They didn't follow the procurement laws. And indeed, when I continue reading this letter, you'll see the minister conceding that. Okay. It says, as the sector minister responsible for the project, I'm requesting you to continue with the works, pending the resolution of the post-termination issues ongoing between the parties to avoid any delay of the project. As per the agreement, the Ghana Shippers Authority has taken over the project and its liabilities. In this regard, the outstanding certificates have accordingly been paid to you. That is to Jasmore. So now they are dealing with Jasmore. They've totally cut out Ashanti Port. Then this paragraph, very revealing. The ministry will ensure that Ghana Shippers takes the necessary processes to regularize your re-engagement. I count on your cooperation.
This is to which company?
This is to Jasmore.
And it's dated when?
It's dated 21st November 2023. Yes, to Jasmore.
It's dated when?
21st November 2023.
21st November 2023.
Yes.
But this company had received $33 million in 2022.
Yes. And they are now, the minister is now talking about regularizing the engagement with this company. Yes, the procurement.
And then getting them back.
Yes. And as we speak, there is no procurement. No procurement. The procurement laws of Ghana have not been respected.
Be that they wanted to strengthen the procurement. That's why they terminated it.
No, the termination is with Ashanti Port, not with Jasmore.
Not with Jasmore.
Not with Jasmore. As for Jasmore, they are still in the good books of the minister.
But Jasmore is unknown to the parliamentary.
Yes, unknown to Parliament.
And you're saying that even the engagement of Jasmore is not gone through the public procurement processes.
Yes.
Although state funds are being used.
Yes. Shocking.
And the 33 million is supposed to be payment for shares.
Yes.
Acquired in the Ashanti company.
Yes. And yet
from GPH.
Yes, and yet Ashanti Port, they didn't see the money. They didn't see the money.
But the GPH has been issued a share certificate.
Yes. And
but they paid for the
money
shares
went to
a construction company.
Yes, because there was arm twisting. They were told. That's why they delayed in issuing the certificate. They didn't want to issue, but they threatened them, did a lot of arm twisting, and they reluctantly had to issue this, even though they didn't receive the money.
But why would they do that? No, why would they do
that? So they decided, based on what was going on, to petition the Attorney General on the 19th of December 2023. And will you believe that since the 19th of December 2023, several letters to the Minister for Transport to respond to the Attorney General.
You mean the Attorney General has written to the Ministry of Transport?
Yes. Based on this petition. Yes,
what
I have
is the
it
petition
here.
about?
So the petition, Office of the Attorney General, addressed to Mr. Kwekwe Siama, the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Transport, Attention Chief Director. Petition, the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal Build Project. This office is in receipt of a petition dated 20th November 2023 and subsequent letters dated 24th November 2023 and 5th December 2023 from Ashanti Port Services Limited, APSL, concessionaire of the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal Project. APSL petitioned the Attorney General to, among others, A, investigate the unlawful interference of the Ministry of Transport in the execution of the project. B, address breaches of the concession agreement. C, review the actions of Vision Consult Limited, the independent consultant on the project, for transparency, adherence to contractual obligations, and conflict of interest. Because Ashanti Port is saying that Jasmore selected their own, consultant, and they are just inflating what they've done so far. The $36 million, the certificates they've raised, and the payment they've received should not be more than $4 million. Continue. C, review the actions of Vision Consult Limited, the independent consultant on the project, for transparency, adherence to contractual obligation, and conflict of interest. D, facilitate the appointment of an independent management and construction supervision team E, ensure the restoration of the concession agreement to APSL. In the petition and letters under reference, APSL makes several allegations of wrongful and undue interference, including threats by the Ministry of Transport in the execution of the project, and improper conduct bordering on conflict of interest on the part of the independent consultant on the project, both of which have impaired APSL's ability to secure the funds needed to execute the project, despite its best efforts. According to APSL, Ghana Shippers Authority, grantor of the project, has unjustifiably terminated the concession agreement on the instructions of the Minister for Transport and unlawfully directed the contractor, Jasmore Company Limited, to proceed with construction without APSL's consent, in blatant disregard of mediation proceedings instituted by APSL in accordance with the terms of the concession agreement. Further, APSL claims that the Ministry of Transport has instructed the Ghana Ports Harbours Authority, a shareholder of APSL, not to engage with Afri-Exim Bank in respect of APSL's request for funds for the project, in a deliberate attempt to frustrate the efforts of APSL in that regard. APSL indicates that should the mediation fail, which is likely because GSA is unable to take a decision for the resolution of the dispute, it will have no option than to seek redress through international arbitration as provided under the concession agreement. And I have seen a board resolution. So APSL has initiated the process, and they are going to be demanding $3.6 billion judgment debt. So let me continue.
Yes.
I am by this letter forwarding copies of this petition and letters referenced above to you for your comments and all documents in respect of the matter to enable this office respond appropriately to the petition. Your expeditious action will be much appreciated. Please accept the compliments of the Attorney General. And this is signed by Helena A. Ziwu, Mrs., the Solicitor General for the Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Okay.
Up to now.
So
up to
this is dated when?
19th December 2023.
Okay.
And today is 19th April. Exactly.
You mean the ministry
4
hasn't
months.
responded?
They haven't responded.
How do you know?
I know, because there's even another reminder to them.
Who was it?
And then they also, when Jasmore followed up, Jasmore was told that they are still waiting for the ministry's response. But what even makes this matter murkier is that with this mess, disregard for Parliament's resolution and the internal wranglings going on, arbitration and all of that, threat of judgment debt, Cabinet goes to a retreat and decides that they are going to pump more money into this project after a presentation by the minister. And I've intercepted the cabinet memos. And I'm shocked. Instead of resolving the mess...
You know cabinet memos are secret.
Yes, they are secret, they are confidential, but...
They're always intercepted.
Yes, in the national interests,
yes,
you should always intercept these things. So
if
it's dated...
if it's to prevent crime.
Yes.
Or expose any criminal conduct.
So 18th March 2024, signed by the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mercy Deborah Karikari. Completion of Boakra Inland Port Project and Commission. Cabinet at its 9th retreat, held on Friday, 15th March 2024, received a presentation by the Minister for Finance on the prioritization of projects under construction and strategies for financing. Subsequent to the presentation, the Minister for Transport reported on the status of the Boakra Inland Port Project and underlined the need for early completion of the project. Cabinet acknowledged the importance of completing the Boakra Inland Port Project and directed as follows. 1. The Ghana Shippers Authority to contribute additional 10% of the Phase 1 project cost. The Ministry of Finance is to support the Ghana Shippers Authority to access a loan to support the project. So they are going to go for a loan.
Was the Attorney General at this cabinet meeting?
Good question. When the Attorney General's letter to the Minister for Transport has not been responded to.
How do you know he hasn't been responded?
It has not.
How do you know?
Oh, please.
Because
I've
you
checked.
haven't intercepted.
Exactly.
No, I've checked. I've checked. I've done my checks.
Because the letter that you give to me says that, from the Attorney General to Ashanti Port, says that I have been directed by the Attorney General to inform you that your petition is receiving the necessary attention.
Yeah.
So why do you decide that?
This is a standard
That's a
response
standard.
from...
But why
After the
do you
petition.
decide that this is
But
not
the AG will respond to them on the receipt, upon the receipt of the...
And how do you know
documents
the
from
AG hasn't received?
Because I've checked and they haven't. They haven't. They
And
haven't.
you have the ombudsman.
And The letter continues, the cabinet memo continues. The Ministry of Transport is to ensure that the first phase of the project is completed by the third quarter of this year for commissioning. The Ministry of Transport is to engage the Ministry of Finance if there are any financial gaps. I should be grateful if you will take the requisite action on the decision by cabinet. Then there's a second intercepted cabinet memo, also of 18 March 2024. They are still looking for financing for this project. Completion of Buakrai Airport project and commission. Cabinet at least 9th retreat.
Commissioning?
And commission, yes.
Okay.
They want to commission something this year in their stronghold, so they can't be bothered, So Cabinet at this 9th retreat held on Friday, 15 March 2024, received a presentation by the Minister for Finance on the prioritization of projects under construction and strategies for financing. Subsequent to the presentation, the Minister for Transport reported on the status of the Buakrai Inland Port project and underlined the need for early completion of the project. Cabinet acknowledged the importance of completing the Buakrai Inland Port project and directed as follows. 1. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and Doc, this is a very interesting one. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to continue to fund the project with 80% of its 2024 dividend from Meridian Port Services Limited, MPS. You remember what they said about MPS, the MPS deal? So 80% of the dividends is to go into this project. And all of these payments is going to go to Jasmine, not Ashanti Port.
Jasmine is the contractor.
The contractor.
Is he doing some work at
Ashanti Port, they say they have terminated.
Now, the Ministry of Transport is to ensure that the first phase of the project is completed by the third quarter of this year for commission. The Ministry of Transport is to engage the Ministry of Finance if there is any financial gap. I should be grateful if you could take requisite action on the decision by Cabinet. Signed, Mercy Deborah Karikari, Secretary to the Cabinet. So it is clear to me that the government is going to continue to deepen the illegalities, the worsening situation when it comes to corporate governance, and the disregard for our laws, and a clear parliamentary resolution on this matter. But you see, there are serious implications to the taxpayer. Now,
first of all, hold on a minute, Sam, let me find out something.
Ashanti Port is
with
demanding.
all the things you have read,
yes,
does it suggest that the termination of that agreement was not done subject to the advice of the AG?
Yes. The AG was totally left in the dark.
Because the concession agreement we went to Parliament had the AG's advice,
yes,
had the cabinet approval.
Yes.
Now, if for any reason there can be a basis for the termination of any agreement, but if for any reason there is a basis, shouldn't the AG
exactly
who provided that advice for that concession agreement be in the know?
Exactly. And even the payments, because already this is a BOT, government should not have come in. Reviewing that agreement, varying it, and asking GPHA to buy shares in Ashanti has implications on the taxpayer. You're causing financial loss. And the Attorney General was totally left out of this. Without recourse to the procurement law, recourse to the Attorney General,
with these millions of dollars involved.
Yeah, you don't $330 million. You don't come back to Parliament to even amend the original resolution of the House. And you are proceeding. And Cabinet is giving them, the green light to go and spend more. 10% loan should be entered into by Shippers Authority, and then GPHA should also use 80% of the dividends from MPS. So more spending into this leaking basket, this rotten basket.
But is work going on at the site?
No. Work has been suspended for some time.
You've been there?
Because,
yes. Are you asking if some work has been done?
Yeah.
No. I thought you said is work going on.
Yeah, has been done and ongoing.
Oh yes, some work has been done, and that is what the Ashanti Port got their own evaluators to assess what has been done. They are saying it shouldn't have gone beyond $4 million.
The evaluation. But the certificates raised indicates $36 million.
Yes.
Okay.
And they are raising all kinds of issues about that. But those are matters that the technical people can.
So that's why they're asking for independent.
Yes. I mean, so you can see the breakdown of what Jasmine has done so far, you know. So it's a mess. And you ask yourself, is there no elder in the room? I mean, this petition, I'm informed that they didn't only petition the Attorney General, they also petitioned the Office of the President. They petitioned the Office of the Vice President. You know, they petitioned the Otumfo. And there's no action, and there's just more spending going to Jasmine. This Jasmine guys, just handpicked. There's a procurement law in Ghana. At least you can even sole source them or single source them.
Well,
but no recourse to the procurement laws.
Anyway.
And they are still making payments. They are now going to go for a loan. Look, we have served notice that we will not support this attempt to go for a loan.
No, but if they come to Parliament,
we will not support it.
No, but if they come to Parliament for a loan for this project, Parliament ought to find out from them what happened to the agreement that Parliament itself approved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And why you haven't come back?
Yes.
Well,
and on what basis they did all those engagements that they
I mean, you wonder what will these people get right? What will you get right?
Come on. Sami.
Come like a lawless jungle.
A what?
This is like a jungle. This.
Okay. Sami Okujeto has made some accusations and implications of wrongdoing in the Boankra project. He's got some extensive documentation to back his implication of wrongdoing. All of us have accountability and protection of the public purse. All of us, no matter what political affiliation we are for the protection of because it's our monies as well, taxpayers' monies. We all go to the shops and pay a lot of all the taxes. So we are interested in accountability. Now you've raised the issues. I hope that the ministry will take advantage and offer clarification.
Has the ministry issued any response to what you have published so far?
No.
Have you published all of this?
Yes. You've done part 1 and part 2.
Where?
Yes.
On Facebook?
Yes, on social media. I've seen the part 1, I've seen the part 2.
But as an MP, you can write directly to the minister seeking clarification.
Yes, and
I mean, in addition
to... I intend to use the parliamentary processes because the House is on recess. Because I'll be filing urgent questions on many parts of this mess.
Okay, so I'm now be interested in the processes to get to the bottom of it, to ensure that there hasn't been wrongdoing, as Sami implies, and then we'll see where it is, because the monies involved are not, and the issues involved are not issues that should be trifled with. So until we get appropriate responses, I can only urge Sami to go on with the call for raising the issues and calling for investigation. And I know that they will see if there has been wrongdoing, and if there has been wrongdoing, the actions that has to be taken. I'm happy that you say that some work is going on, because the project is supposed to have been commissioned last year. Yeah. So by now, the work should have been 70, 80.
It's pretty obvious that government is really racing to commission something.
Yeah.
But that means some serious work is going on. But you're saying that the work has stopped.
Work has stopped now, yes.
And maybe 60% has been done?
Because I have a letter from the lawyers of Jasmine, Owusu Ankuma, Avo, Mensa, Jigba, and Associates, informing the minister that they're really finding it difficult to continue with the project. I can read it. It says, "Dear Sir, notice of arbitration proceedings initiated by Ashanti Port Services Limited, APSL, against Jasmine Construction Limited at the Arbitration Center, Accra. We act as solicitors for and on behalf of Jasmine Construction Limited and hold its firm instructions to write and inform you about a pending arbitration commenced by APSL on the 19th day of December